So hey everybody, how's it going? Wanted to stop in here and show you because I was telling you about my water hoses, the nozzles freezing and busting. And this one, since we hang it up when we're done with it, all the weight bends over and it's starting to break the hose. So went and picked up one of these. So I'm going to show you how to repair this, or how I'm going to repair this. What we're going to do is we're going to drop back just a little bit behind it, and we're going to take this knife that looks like need to maybe put on a wet rock. Now this water hose here has been a pretty good one, and that's hence the reason that I'm trying to save it. That, and if you go to try to buy one right now, for some reason water hose is like $2 a foot now, and that's if you're lucky. That's if you're lucky. Now take this apart here. We're going to slide the little, and I did not bring a screwdriver out here, so I'll probably have to pause the video and go get a screwdriver. And if it was a warm day, the hose of course would be a lot more pliable, and you could go get and I may go do that, a lighter or a fire starter stick and heat this up to where it'd be more pliable. And if I start having a little bit of a problem, that's probably what I will do. So, you know what? I've got to go get a screwdriver anyway, so I'm going to go get some tools and I'll be right back. Alright, we're back. Probably can't hear real well. I don't have my mic, but anyway, back to what we were doing. I'm going to take and warm this up just a little bit, maybe. I don't even know if this little thing's actually going to get it quite right because of the wind. That's like wasting my time, I think. Wasting my time. Now, if you were prepared and you had like a hammer, you could put a block over this so you don't damage it and just drive it in. But I'm not prepared. I do have a hammer, but I don't have the block. So we might try this little piece of wood, but as you can tell, it's already cracked. So probably isn't going to work. But we're going to give it a try. Trying to do this, you know, one-handed ain't great. It's not great. But little by little, it starts going in there a little further. You don't have to heat the water hose all the way around. You can just do one side or the other. Just enough to get it a little bit pliable. And just work it in there. And as you can see, maybe, if the camera's cooperating, now we're flush. Good to go. I'm going to slide our clamp back up here. And I'm going to tighten this with a Phillips screwdriver, or with a flat screwdriver, flathead. But I will probably later on come back with a little socket that fits this, because you can get it so much tighter with a little socket. And this is just a simple garden hose repair, because garden hoses are expensive. And now it's ready to put another nozzle on, which bought a couple of these because I really like the older ones are solid brass. They didn't have those where we were at. They had these brass ones with the plastic. But these are good too as well. Just make sure that you've got the rubber washer in here. They should come with it. Good as new. Now this was probably, I don't know, probably $3 because it's got fancy plastic on it. I don't know. This repair part was probably $3. So what, $6 compared to, I'll show you. We also picked up one of these because I'm not sure this is the only spot in this hose that's messed up, but I think so. Anyway, one of these was to replace the hose around back. And then we bought this fancy one here that's flat, supposedly non-kink commercial hose. Now I don't know, but it is flat. It's not braided. It does look braided, but it is rubber. I don't know if it's going to be any good or not, but I like non-kinking, and we're going to give this a try. But that's what I was getting at. 50 foot. These were not cheap. Don't have the receipt, but I didn't see any water hose there for less than $30. So I'm pretty sure it was somewhere around $35, $40 for this one. And I'm sure this one right here was probably $30 or $40 as well. But we got one for the front, one for the back, and I have my old hose here to add to it. That way I'll have 100 foot instead of just 50. That's if the 50 foot, you know, is the only place that's leaking. What I'm trying to tell you is I got enough water hose now. See, I've got enough water hose now to do it, anything that needs to be done. Okay, so we're fixing to get started with our seed video. We're going to kind of do this maybe a little different. I don't know, maybe it ain't different, but this is the way we're going to do it. We've got it broke down into like when we're going to sow it, and like if we're going to sow it straight into the ground or we're going to do it under grow lights. We've got our tomatoes. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is the video could get really long, so we're going to try to break it down into parts, but I will spin around and show you real quick how we got it laid out, and then we're going to probably cut the video and we'll talk about the individual packets so we can kind of go more into detail of what we're planting, why we're planting, if we've planted it before. Okay, so here we go. Down. Straight sow, and it's outside, and that's summer. Of course, that's going to be our cucumbers and things. And then this right here is going to be our sow inside for summer herbs. So this will go under grow lights. These are basically just herbs, and these right here are going to be our spring sow. This is going to be straight into the soil, and this is the packages that we're going to be doing for that. And of course, this is the sow inside for summer. This is going to be your tomatoes and things like that. And like I said, the packages, there's a bunch of them there, so we'll go over them individually. But right now, we're just going to pause for the cause and get set up, and we'll be right back.
Okay, this is our spring crops that we will sow straight into the soil, and most all of them we've done before, like these French breakfast radishes. We'll probably do those in a container with some green onions, and they just do really well for us. The kohlrabi, same thing. We'll just sow it straight into the soil. I got some out there right now. We grow it more for the greens, but these are spring crops. The English shelling peas. We like to do the tall telephone shelling peas. This one it still climbs, but only gets about 30 inches tall. It's called a wando.
Wando bean.
Wando bean. It's an heirloom, meaning you harvest these, let them dry on the vine, mature and dry on the vine, and you can plant those and it'll come back that same plant.
No mixing.
Well, it's not a hybrid.
That also means it's not disease resistant.
Not as much
Right.
so. Not as much so. But sometimes. But this is our favorite one. The pods just get really big and the peas get really fat. So we've grown all these. And we'll start these and these probably next weekend if it's dry enough.
Because these are all for a cooler weather.
These are cool weather crops. You can do them spring and fall. Kohlrabi, most people grow it for this bulb. We have 3 or 4 varieties, but this is the one I like. And we grow it more for the leaves. This is a new one. It's Japanese mountain spinach. It's a variety of Swiss chard. We've never grown it. It can tolerate crop temperatures up to 104 Fahrenheit. The stems and the leaves can be a substitute for spinach, either boiled to remove bitterness or raw in salads. It's the hardiness of Swiss chard with the tender sweetness of spinach, easy to grow. And you straight sow in place into the dirt. Early spring to midsummer. It's a heavy feeder, so it says to side dress with compost. Yields until very cold weather. So it looks like we could grow this up until probably June and then replant it in late August for fall and winter. If we like the taste of it. That's something when you're doing new crops you don't know. But it's a new one for us. We're excited. Alright. We're going to sow our herbs, the summer herbs, inside. Cilantro, I call it a summer herb, but it actually is a cool weather crop. I got cilantro out there right now that grew all winter long, but you let the temperatures start getting hot and it'll bolt. But I don't like to straight sow it into the dirt, so I'm going to sow it inside, get it out as fast as possible. Done this one before. Of course, sweet basil and dill. We've done before.
We like dill because we like pickles.
Yeah, we'll have those straight. We'll sow them inside.
If you plant this right beside your cucumbers,
Something's leaking.
if you plant this right beside your cucumbers, you will get dill pickles.
It must be. One of these is leaking anyway. Right. Catnip. We've never grown it, but it is a mint. So if you do grow catmint, you're going to want to contain it, or it'll take over everything. This is new. Greek mountain tea mint. It's a perennial from zone 7 to 11. It is also called ironwort. It attracts pollinators, which is our main goal in our garden, is to attract pollinators. But you make tea with this. It's a low growing shrub. Only gets about 10 inches tall and about a foot wide. The leaves are long and iron sword shaped. That's why they get the ironwort out of it. They're a silvery color and kind of fuzzy. What I'll do with this one is I'll just spread it thinly on top of the dirt when I sow it inside. You could probably do this one outside. It does take light to germinate. But it's a new one. I'm excited. And of course we'll do our hyssops. We always like the anise hyssop. It smells like licorice. It attracts pollinators. You can do flavored water and teas with it. It's very good if you have lung problems like asthma. This is a new one. It's a pink bloom. We'll see how we like it, but we like the hyssops and we like agastaches. So those are our herbs that we're going to start inside.
Under the grow lights.
Under the grow lights.
And basically we'll start everything. When we say that, we're starting everything under our grow lights until they get up so tall, and then we'll move them out to the greenhouse, let them get so tall, and then we'll put them in pots.
Yeah. This is our straight sow, straight into the ground summer crops. Has to be really good and warm for these things. Like this is the zucchini squash. We've done it a couple of years now. Those things get about 2.5 feet long. If they're picked green, be used as a summer squash. If we let them go pink, they're a winter squash. But we'll do those again. We're also going to do the Armenian cucumbers again. For some people, they get really big, but we picked them early and we liked how they taste. So we're going to do those again. For pickles this year, we're going to grow the Boston pickling cucumber. It has been extremely productive in the past. We're really pleased with how it makes pickles. So we'll do that again. And I got a couple of varieties of zinnias at the big box store today.
For the pollinators.
For the pollinators and the hummingbirds, they like the zinnias. So we'll grow both of these and we'll just scatter them out and they'll come up. Zinnias are easy.
And you can eat these if you're hungry.
Yeah, if you're hungry, sure. So that's those. Okay, this is the summer crops that we're going to sow inside. We're doing 2 varieties of eggplants this year. I have a friend that likes them, and I'd like to try and grow some. Eggplants, I call them a trap crop. If you're going to have problems with bugs, they're going to show up on your eggplants. Flea beetles love them. Everything loves them. So I like to put them off kind of by themselves. That way the bugs will kind of go over there. Stay away from everything else. But we're doing 2 new varieties from Baker Creek. Camo and Nagasaki Long. Not your regular eggplant, globe-shaped eggplants. They're a little different.
We've seen some of those, the long, thinner ones at
the
Asian
international
market.
Asian market. Yeah. These are Nagasaki Long. Probably one variety was these probably. It's a popular variety. We're going to try to start some butterfly weed for the butterflies. This grows naturally in Arkansas where we're at.
Yeah, we see that on the side of the road in the road ditches a lot.
And you want it. It's what the monarch butterflies eat is this. So we're going to try it. I've tried it before and I did not do well. You can just scatter this, throw it out to start on its own. I had no luck with that. So I'm going to try and start it indoors. The marigold we're going to do this year is called Bambino from Baker Creek. It's a shorter dwarf more.
And why do we suggest marigolds?
Marigolds, if you plant a marigold next to, say, every tomato you plant, your load of tomato hornworms and flea beetles and other pests are going to be less. Or that's been our experience. As long as we have a marigold between each plant, it helps to repel the insects. One plant in your garden isn't going to be enough. You're going to have several. We done a taller varieties. There's so many different marigolds out there. I want them more to shade the roots. Most of your pests are going to come up from the dirt. So I want them around the rooted area of the plant. So that's Bambino marigold. This is a new one we're excited about. This is a perennial. It's a variety of dianthus, and it's almost black, called Zebra Crossing. Dianthus, if you haven't grown them, are extremely fragrant. So nice to have in your garden, but put it in a place where you don't mind it coming back, or you'll have to dig it up and move it, because it is perennial. Okay, peppers. We have done shishitos a couple of years now. These are they're a frying pepper. They're not hot. Maybe 1 in 20 will have some spice to it. We pick them green.
And honestly, we're not sure if, when we say 1 in 20, one might be hot. We don't know that for sure. It also may be that they crossbreed with other peppers, and then you might get one of those shishitos hot that came from another plant. You know what I'm saying?
But they're not a spicy pepper
No.
normally.
No.
We just pick them whole like this. They get about like your pinky or your ring finger, big around about that long. We pick them, wash them. We don't cut them up. We don't cut the stems off, nothing. We put a couple of tablespoons of olive oil in a skillet, throw those whole peppers in there, salt them, blister them all around, and eat them straight. And they're delicious. So we're growing those again. Jay picked up a couple of varieties of jalapenos today that we've never grown. We have grown jalapeno in the past, but it was just jalapenos that we picked up at a nursery. It just said jalapeno. These are a mild jalapeno, shouldn't get as hot as the others that you normally get at the store. And then this is a super nacho jalapeno. It's 2 times bigger than your average jalapeno.
It says 6 to 7 inches long.
Yeah. It can grow double the length of a typical jalapeno. It's 8,000 on the Scoville scale, which is your heat scale. It's on the high end for a jalapeno as far as heat goes. They'll be 6 to 7 inches long, endless supply. So we'll stuff them. We'll stuff them. If we get a big bunch of them, we'll make pickled jalapeno slices. That's what we'll do. This one we've never grown, don't know anything about. I'm going to read on it. It's called a cubanelle. It's a hot pepper, but it's not very hot. It's just, okay, you got your sweet bell peppers. This is just a little hotter. You know, bell peppers ain't hot. This just has a tiny bit of heat. Excellent for frying, for like fajitas or whatever reason. But we're going to stuff these too.
Yes.
They get 6 inches long.
With cheese.
And 2.5 inches wide.
And bacon.
And you can pick them yellow to green, but they're really best to pick red is what it says. 100 to 1,000 Scoville heat. Not very hot at all.
If the jalapeno was, what, 8,000? Mm-hmm. If that's 1,000, so that tells you right there that they're not very hot at all.
But that's our peppers. That's the things I'll be sowing inside for the summer. These and our herbs. We got our plants picked out to sow straight probably next weekend. The kohlrabi and that new Swiss chard, Japanese mountain spinach. I'm so excited to try that. I hope it does well. But that's what we got, and I think his next video we're going to talk about tomatoes. We got lots of them.
Well, fixed my water hose. Maybe I'll put that in there. I know I'm going to put it in there. I'm just not sure. I've got some editing I got to do in there because I wasn't prepared. I wasn't real prepared to do the old video. And we also have started getting our seeds together, and we're going to show y'all some of that. I wanted to show you. Just got back from the store, and we got this at the big box store. Just some seed starting mix. So we're getting ready to start our seeds. So there's that. Wanted to show you our lettuce here that's coming up. Got some lettuce. Let us plant some lettuce. So it's getting there. Weather is still gloomy, rainy, wet, and it's just February. So we are going to get some more cold weather. So we are in no hurry. Well, I shouldn't say that. We are in a hurry to start planting. We're ready to get going. But we are not going to put the cart before the horse and plant a bunch of stuff just to have blackberry winter come in here and get rid of all of it. Because it seems like that happens every year. We're not the only ones. Everyone gets excited and they're ready to plant, and they get out there on that first, good weekend. It's a pretty weekend, and they're out there cleaning up their yard, which we need to do, by the way. And then they're also wanting to plant their seeds, and they get stuff planted and it starts sprouting, and then bam, Arkansas weather hits and you lose it. So we're not going to be in a big hurry. But thank y'all for stopping by. I need to check, need to go in here, I guess, and check, see if we got any eggs. Oh, We got one. And one is better than none. One is better than none. But thank y'all for stopping by. I hope you learned a little bit. Maybe you didn't learn anything, but you learned how we do things, you know. We talked about some of our seeds that we're going to plant. We're going to get into our tomatoes probably, I don't know, maybe next weekend video, because we tend to plant a lot of tomatoes because that's what we eat most of. So we're going to have some different varieties and talk a little bit more about how we do our tomatoes. But that'll be coming up. And in the meantime and in between time, y'all come back and see us. I hope you're happy and healthy, and I hope you stay safe. And we here at Little Nuts Farm appreciate you guys stopping by. So don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe. And I look to start seeing more comments as we go along and start planting and getting things ready for the spring and summer. And if I can't answer them, which will probably be a lot of them, the Master Gardener will answer them. And hopefully we can take care of your questions as if you have any. And if you don't, well then, you know, maybe we'll ask you a question or two. And if we can't figure it out, Google will. There's plenty of people on Google that will help us. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.